Hey, we're back at Factorio PyHard. Let's go. Okay, so I was building the iron stack. That will certainly need continuing. It does need more coal. Just to make this simple, I'm going to make a little bend there. That should be enough for all of you. Yeah, but you're going to need more, right? So you also need to. I was going to drop it. Okay. Yep. And we're producing iron. This is much uglier than I expected, but can work with that. There. So again, I will take the ash off the belt. I didn't leave enough room. This isn't great. One more. That's going to be a bit nicer at least. I hate all of this already. Oh, but now we're on both sides of the belt. I don't want you to be on both sides of the belt. I need you to be on the right side of the belt. And that's not going to work. Okay. And I don't have enough coal anyway. Because of course all of this is going onto the same side of the belt. This is going to help. Yeah, this is already filling up. It's really bad. Alright. And it's not really doing anything, right? This is only producing a tiny amount of power. I'm not really using much power at all right now. Yeah, you are going to be fine. But I am going to split you up right like this. And here, the same thing. I need the other side of the belt for ash, eventually. It's not going to build up that fast, but yeah, for each coal, one ash is output. It's not great. Let's connect you there. And this is going to work fine. Okay. Oh, I forgot to... Yeah, so this is one reason why this is not optimal. However, it does mean that the belt is going to be more full, and I kind of like that. Okay. You need more iron, you need slightly more iron. And I will start thinking about how to bring more. Okay. That's going to make things easier. Why aren't you producing anything? No stone bricks. Right, that was a problem. I still don't have the coal processing researched. for now, let's just stockpile. So this is not going to be a real bus, at least not for now. And it is going to be real ugly. So this would of course be easier with some robots. I can show you when we get construction bots. Right. So it already needs PyScience 1, quite a bit of it too. To get working, it will need at least a PyRoboport. That should be enough. Right, so that takes a lot of materials, but by the time I get to this research, that's going to be fine. Every individual bot also costs a gearbox, which needs fish oil, and belts, which need rubber. And how do we get rubber? Well, we get rubber from latex. How do we get latex? Oh, yeah. So latex needs formic acid. And formic acid can only be made, at least at this point, from rocks, which are like alien ants or something. So we will need a huge production of rocks. This will be a big bottleneck throughout much of PyScience 1. Latex is also needed for PyScience 1, and it's the most expensive part, which is a bit ridiculous because it's just used for rubber stoppers. So for the glassware, we need rubber stoppers. Without it, we can't do any science. The underground boat should be long enough for this. Yeah, just about. I can't leave it like this. I just have to use another underground boat. Sorry. They're almost there, which will fully automate the production. Oh, if I add inserters, of course. So you take 2 per second, you take 4 per second, as usual. And this will be much easier once I get the, what's it called, the long-handed inserters, which fortunately, thanks to Bob's adjustable inserters, are not going to cost me anything other than the research. So normally they would take circuit and they would consume electricity. I have mixed feelings about that because this does make Bob's adjustable inserters even more powerful than they would normally be. But hey, this is a very complicated modpack anyway, right? So making a few things easier is not going to make a huge difference in the end. Right, air core inductors. I definitely want to automate these. I'm not going to make too many, because as soon as I can, I want to get into the enhanced recipe, which takes ceramics. So that's not very far away. The main problem is that the electronics factory is expensive. I need a plate pit, I need coke. But this will make the air conductors much easier to make and much cheaper, so they're going to take a lot less copper. It's 2 copper per air inductor, and here it's 4 copper and half iron. So I want to switch to that as soon as possible. Right. Now I just need a lot more inserters, of course. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. Anyway, in Pyanodons, automation looks a bit different. And so I'm not going to make a mall that makes every single building. Definitely not this soon, because buildings are really expensive, and it makes much more sense to just make the intermediates, because crafting the building itself is usually not a problem, right? So this takes a second. That's fine. It takes 60 seconds to make by hand if I don't have the intermediates. But with the intermediates, it's just a second. That's fine. And that's the same for everything else, pretty much. So I want to focus on making the intermediates. Should I add another insert there? Probably, yeah. But this is going to help. And yeah. Right. So you make 4 per second. You take a lot more than that, so let's not overdo this. Okay. No, time to hand mine some more copper. Because I need the coal processing technology to automate mining copper. Stone. Rather. I will also want to do some exploration because there are biters around. I want to know where they are. They're not going to expand. We are on basically a railroad setting. But they are going to react to the pollution I make. And they will annoy me while I try to expand. And of course, I'm very limited in my ability to do anything about them. And that's not going to change for a long while. Even by the time I get ammunition, which is going to take a while, it's going to be difficult. Of course, the usual turret creeps and everything work fine. The problem is that ammunition is going to be scarce quite a bit. Now, before I do this, you need the spot. So, I'll make a partially automated system at least. And I'm going to start with the off-belt. It does take a lot more room than normal. A normal splitter, of course. I do have... there isn't really much room there, though. Of course, there's not going to be a lot of stone coming through here anyway. And I will be rebuilding everything as usual, because this is Pyanodons. Rebuilding is the name of the game. No, I don't actually tend to rebuild all that much. Because I think it's even nicer when you try to weave things around a little bit at least. There. So for now, the only thing I can do is just put stone in a box. However, I can get some coal there at least. Which is nice because otherwise shifting coal around is going to take up a lot of my time and effort. Which is silly. Okay. Building up nicely. I don't need so many copper cables now that I have the air conductors automated. I'm not going to automate making electric poles, at least not yet, I think. Right, coal. One should be enough, I think. Now, I do have a habit of saying something is temporary. Everything is temporary. All of this is going to disappear soon. There. Oh, that's cold processing 1. So this unlocks carbolic oil. The problem is that cold processing is going to create a lot of fuels, which are useful, but I'm not going to have a use for them right now. Wow, glowing lamp. Interesting. I can't make glass yet. That will be soon. I will also need ash separation quite soon to get rid of the ash. I have way too much, and I'm going to have a lot. But this takes steel, and steel is another thing that gets complicated in PyHard, of course. So normally we just have a foundry, and then you put coke, limestone, and iron, and that's it. In PyHard, the foundry also needs heat. So the burner produces heat from wood and only wood. Great. It's very efficient, so at least that's nice. But this is not going to be very, very good right now. Okay. So the way I want to go, no, definitely not walls. I will need walls, but oh, not really. Okay, steel processing it is. I don't think I need any of this right now. So steel processing, and once that's done, yeah, this is nice. So I don't have to spend anything on this anymore. So the steel axe will just come with making steel. That's good. And right after that, kerogen processing would be nice because mining stone in Pyanodons also gives us kerogen. Kerogen is bad. I will want mining fluid miners first. I'm not going to get tin right away, but I will want to start producing aluminum because mining aluminum takes coal gas. So at least I will get some useful use out of the coal gas that I will need to be pretty much voiding. Which, again, this is PyHard. I can't just let the gas out into the air. I need to use it. I can store some of it, but of course storage is very limited because I don't have any tanks. When do I get tanks? Well, yeah, that's the first fluid storage I have other than pipes. And I think that all of these need duralumin. No, all of these need lead. So this is after lead. Lead mining also takes quite a bit. But duralumin is also going to be very expensive. And we are going to need fluid fuels for that. Now while I'm here, I am going to use iron chest for these two ash boxes. Yeah, it's already filling up. On the other hand, this is slowly using the ash. Right. There's still a decent amount of wood, but I will need to chop down some trees. I want you up to 2 stacks, I think. Okay. Now this is semi-automated. I will need to refuel with the coal. I'm not going to bother bringing coal around for this yet, I don't think. Or should I? Hmm. If I bring coal this way... Oh, I can't reach you. Hmm. But at least I can fuel a couple. Oh, yeah, and if I don't make you so long, then I can fuel you as well. So that's going to help at least a little bit. Okay. These are not very fuel hungry though. It shouldn't be a problem. Now I need to start building the destructive distillation column. So to start mining stone, I need at least 2. And of course they are consuming electric power. And I will need coal for the miners themselves. Well, let's keep going. Now, I am thinking that this northeast side will be my main, well, fluid processing, maybe? So I'm going to do a lot of the coal processing and a lot of the other fluids, which is a lot of complicated chains. Some of those are very useful on their own. Many of those I'm just going to burn for fuel. I will actually want to waste a lot of that fuel. Because I'm going to have a lot, and I'm not going to be able to store it. And even though I will, in the long term... Oh, I forgot to make storage for iron, though. I will need that. Did I not count this right? So each of these produces 1 per second. But I can't afford to add another pair because it's not going to supply enough by the belt. Well, it's not going to be perfect, but it is going to help at least. Yeah, not a whole lot of iron. Okay. I can't quite double it up, but it's close enough. So this way, 0.8, and this should be 7.5. So it should almost handle 10. So 9 should be completely fine. Okay. Especially given that the inserters are not actually fully keeping up, I think. They're not going to be able to fill it up entirely. Yeah. So let's add another one. There. There's... Yeah, I need more iron, but all of the iron is being consumed to produce small parts. There. So that should increase the production of iron at least a bit. Not a whole lot, but it will help. The next stack, I can just continue, because this isn't producing even close to the full belt, of course. So what I can do is just connect it straight down here. And which way do I want to do this? Because I don't want the iron to cross over. But if it does, it doesn't really matter. Or does it? Because it's going to prioritize this direction. But that's not great. Well, let's give it a try at least. No, because the belt should be almost empty at this point, so it shouldn't matter. There. Yeah, it's not building up that slow. It's good. So the production is growing. Oh. And of course, these miners are now full of ash. That didn't take long at all. And that is just how it is. Right. Now, I'm not going to be able to use this layout and also extract ash. Well, at least not without a lot of underground belts, which might not be the worst idea, honestly. If I just used underground belts here, it would be fine. Or... yeah, that's going to be a good idea, I think. So I'm going to get rid of the... there. Should be able to use just one here. So there's the ash. And I only need you. There. That's not going to last forever, but it's going to help. And now, what I can do is a bit expensive, but sure. Just drop the... doesn't really make a difference. That should be fine. Okay. Come on. So this is not a great design by any means. But I'm not looking for a great design at this point. Oh, another one. There. No, this should no longer block up, at least. Now again, I cannot flip this layout around, fortunately. Ooh. That's filling up a bit faster than I expected. Alright, because these guys are actually consuming quite a lot of fuel. So that's another reason, of course, why I want to switch away from raw coal. Because if we take a look at the research here, I can make 3 coal from 10 raw coal. Now I'm going to lose some energy doing that, but the coal is going to produce a third of the ash. That's a good deal. Problem is I'm not going to be able to produce all that much. Okay. Now everything is a bit tight around here. To get started, maybe I'm going to use direct input. So each of these produces 2 per second, and this takes 5 per second. So it's almost not worth it, is it? So let's just start a normal mining operation. Okay, 5 per second is going to be complicated to get inside. Which means I'm going to use underground belts again. This should be about 1.5. This should give me 3, 4, so 4. That's going to be nice, I think. And it uses most of the length of the belt, which is good. Yeah, but now that I'm not using direct insertion, let's move the whole thing. Can use the whole coal patch. Coal patches are really big in Pyanodons. I'm sure you can guess why. Now, I will have options to make fuel from other sources. There will be wood, of course. There will be oil. All of that is quite a ways away. Okay. So 3 should be perfectly fine to get started. And of course, this is going to back up immediately. So it's going to produce just a tiny bit, and that's it. For the output, is there a good way to do this? I think I want to keep the fluid outputs something like this. And for the rest, there's going to be iron oxide and there's going to be coal. I am going to need 2 inserters just to output the coal. The iron oxides are not going to happen too often, but they will build up if I let them, which is annoying. And I could use filter inserters. Yeah, let's do that. So how am I going to do this? Let's go something like this. This is going to go for coal. Right. This is also going to go for coal. And I'm just going to do a little loop here. No, I messed it up already, right? Because I built it so that I can expand this way. Which means that these guys need to be moved a little bit. So the next stage is going to go down. Now, 1.5 coal produced here. I will need carbolic oil. Oh, right, that's why I wanted to build it there. Okay, so that's fine. So next for processing coal, I get coke, which gets me from... Now it's probably easier to see here. So raw coal has 4. So I went from 40 megajoules down to coal is 5, so 15. Yikes. That's a lot. Most of the energy is in the fluids, of course. And this is very inefficient processing. We will get much better technology later on. Then, from 30 megajoules worth of coal, I get 30 megajoules of coke. So at this point, it makes sense to just continue. It's not going to waste anything, really. The distillery does take electricity, and quite a lot of it, in fact. So the crafting time is 3 seconds. So that's 1.5 megajoules. So that's not going to be a problem. So I am going to turn everything into coke, and I'm going to switch to coke to fuel my factory, if I can. There we go. However, I'm not doing this for fuel just yet. That's not the high priority right now. What I need is stone, and stone needs carbolic oil. So I will keep this setup here-ish. Yeah, it's really annoying how these machines work with outputs and inputs. Oh, but there's the new 2.0 thing. No, I think I want... This is perfect. Good. Yeah, so... I will want the coal gas back down there with where I can mine the aluminum. But I will also want to use it as fuel once we get the first thing that can actually consume fluid fuel. And that should be the glassworks. Making glass course, takes a huge amount of energy. So we're going to be using fluid fuels to make glass. That makes sense. Yeah, that copper is just about keeping up. It's not perfect, but it's working, so that's fine. I'm not making enough, but that's not going to be a problem, at least for a little while. I do have a surplus of iron, so I'm going to use that right away to automate production of pipe. And I think I'm going to go with underground pipe right away too. There. A little bit of a stockpile, blacklist ash. And you are going to make the underground. This is going to be very slow, of course, but that's fine. I can expand it later, once I have more resources, which right now I don't really have any. So. Again, having some focus helps. Okay. But if I do get the coke, that's 5 megajoules per ash. That's the main thing that really interests me, right? Not the fuel value itself, but just lasting longer, especially for the miners. So they're already producing huge amounts of ash, and they're backed up pretty much already. Yeah. Ash is useful. It's not a waste product entirely. We can use it to make some more advanced materials, and we will want to do that, but not right now. Okay, so I did choose this way to expand. It's going to be fine-ish. Each one of those needs slightly more than 2 of the raw coal distilleries, which doesn't sound bad, at least for now. Now I'm going to start making the carbolic oil. So that needs tar, and it does need steam, which is a bit annoying. And it also needs a little bit of raw coal, not a lot. How do I get it there? You do have output of coal gas, I do have output of ash, of course. A rich clay, again, useful, but I'm not going to be able to use any of it, really. It's not going to work out. That fits nicely. There we go. No, this design is not going to work for any long future, but it will produce a little bit for now. And I'm not building to last forever. That's not going to happen. Although it will not be as horrible as I sometimes make it sound. Right. Yay. Is there a reasonable way I can put this here? Yes, there is. Eh. That's the tar. That's the first thing hooked up. It consumes such a tiny amount of coal. Let's not think too much about this. Maybe think a little bit. Be there. All right. There. Now steam is going to need water, of course. I am going to build a separate system, I think. I can connect it to the water somewhere around here. I will use the same basic approach, I think. Of course, I'm not going to need the steam engine. I don't have to worry about complaints there. This should be fine. Oh, of course I put it the wrong alignment. Easy to fix. Right. And a single miner should be more than enough to supply all the needs here. There's no way to get rid of the ash, of course, but that will have to wait still. There. Now, fence production has been stopped for a long while now again. I'm not going to be able to do much about it. Oh, no. Why is it stopped? Oh! Of course, we also need iron here. This wasn't ideally designed. There. And I can weave you through here. More. There. Completely forgot about that. Alright. There's not going to be a lot of stone bricks anyway. It's not going to last very long, but it should be able to get me moving again. Now, I will need a lot of those underground pipes. Ooh, this is a lot slower than I expected. Oh, and of course it also needs a blacklist on ash. This is starting to look decent. Good. Yeah, so now I just built a few intermediates, and that makes everything much faster. Let's get you started. And let's get some of the steam in. Means I need water. And I don't want to interfere with the miners. Oh. Going to worry about it. There. That should be carbolic oil. Oh, that's why you're not working. Okay, my bad. Good. Now the ash and the rich clay I'm just going to store for now. Now, do I need to think about this at all? Not for now. So, filter ash. There. And filter rich clay. There. So that's my first tiny amount of carbolic oil. I do need to actually use all the production from the distillation columns. I'm not producing tar anymore. Coal gas, on the other hand, will keep building up, which is a problem. And for now, I'm going to solve it in a very silly way. This is my tank. There. It's not going to last for very long, but it is a buffer at least. Fortunately, again, the only thing I have to mine the stone is this, which is bad. Like this, maybe? Right. Now, I don't have to worry too much about making this big, because I'm not going to be able to produce much carbolic oil, really. So, getting any reasonable amount of stone in PyHard is tricky, to say the least. Right. But that is carbolic oil. I just need to unclog all of this. Now, the tricky part is I will need 2 outputs from here. However, I can... not the... Oh, yeah, it is the coal. Okay. If I bring this closer, I could do direct insertion. It would still take 2. It would still take 2 inserters. Oh. I'm not going to bother with that. Right. And for the iron oxide, the best thing I can do with it right now is just burn it. Not going to worry about it. And the first one is going to go straight into the furnace, which gives me iron. Now I will need iron oxide for other things later, but this is quite welcome. Right. And I don't want to put ash in there. Oh, that's coal. Now, coke. I want to use coke as much as I can as a fuel, especially for things like this. In fact, I usually use not coal, or not coke, but wood, just to get rid of all the ash output. Because burning logs and burning wood does not produce ash. Now, 4 logs gets turned into 20 wood. Logs have twice the power, so that's 8 megajoules into, well, 8 into 20, so 2.5 increase. So normally that would be enough reason. Of course, the wood processing itself takes electricity, and not a small amount either. And this takes 4 seconds, so that's another, what is it, megajoule? Yeah. Nope, not ideal. But I'll deal with that later. Now, I still need to get rid of the extra iron oxide. I could do better weld weaving here, but that's not the objective now, right? I'll just get rid of it for now. Do I have somewhere I could use it easily? Well, let's... No, don't have... Oh, yeah, let's do it. Oh, now, ideally, I would want to power something like the miners here with the coke, but I don't think I'm going to have enough. Now, one way to handle this... First, of course, again, I'm going to take care of the iron oxide. Nothing complicated for now. And I don't have much stone. Okay. There's our first stone. 3 per mining operation. Really? We also get kerogen, which is another fuel, but it's mainly used for further processing. Right. This is not going to make much sense. I will need to change this. And not even much later. This isn't going to last for long at all. On the other hand, if I don't use the filter healer, I don't have to deal about the refueling, so that's nice. Hey. And how much do you produce? At the highest usage, it's just 2 coke. On the other hand, I will need coke for other things, so I don't want to just burn it into fuel. I will need it to produce not limestone, but well, I will need it for steel, and I will need it for carbon dioxide later on. But for now, the important thing is to get rid of it, really. And the way I'm going to do this is something like this. Now, this is a permanence priority splitter. If there's coke, it will take precedence. If there isn't, we're going to refill with raw coal. I might want to move this earlier, once the production actually builds up a little bit. So now, coal gas is full. That's the reason why I need the fluid mining as soon as possible. Oh yeah, ceramics, that's the other one. So ceramics will need coke too. Clay is free, it just needs steam, which is actually a lot of power, of course, but that doesn't matter. No, yeah, I have to. Okay. Come on. Yay. And to power you, I'm just going to use 1. Maybe not quite there. It's not really. They are going to fight a little bit for fuel, but it should be good enough. Yeah, it does have an advantage. It reaches the goal sooner. So this should be able to give me temporary full power. It's not going to last for very long, but I will need electricity. Why did you run out? We're working fine. Must have taken it out with the ash at a bad moment. Yeah, I'm going to empty all of those crates. I shouldn't need... Well, I will probably need a little bit of that, but not too much. Hey, and we're already full on coal gas. I didn't get much carbolic oil at all, and that's fine for now. Now, I'm going to use the off-bolting again, but this time there's going to be two. So the first one is going to take away the ash. No. How do I want to do this? Yeah, let's go down. So the first one is going to take away ash. The second one will be shifted just a little bit to take all... That's right. To take off the kerogen. I could just burn it. It might not even be a bad idea, honestly. Okay. Of course, the ash is going to have a much lower throughput than what I'll need for the kerogen, but it should last a little bit. The stack size is also bad, but can't really do anything about it. And now I can move the stone all the way here. Which way do I want to go? Be around here somewhere. Because I will also need room for the ash. There's going to be a lot of ash, especially while I still get everything together. For the ash processing and the improved power, improved materials and everything. Okay. There. Small parts too. Yeah, sure, why not? Right. Anyway, this is not going to produce a lot of stone. It's going to get backed up constantly. There's not much I can do about it right now. Now both stone bricks and stone will be useful for other things too. That's fine. Right. Now I wouldn't call this automated yet. Until I can use all the coal gas. Yeah. Now how much is that? Yeah, that's 5.5 thousand. And unfortunately, I really don't have any better storage than this, I don't think. Now, if I look at coal gas here, I can turn it into ash. That's a really bad waste. The coal gas is going to be very useful. And I need stone bricks to do that. Okay. I don't have stone bricks. And let's have that build up at least a little bit. Or, let's just put it here. I want it to be after it gets filtered of the ash. And it stacks to 1000. Yeah, that's a problem. So, fortunately, we do have circuit networks. Stone bricks, where are you? There. Only if there's less than... Let's go with 200 for now. Be good enough. is the recipe for wasting the gas even there, though? Oh, of course it isn't. This is PyHard. Not sure why it's showing up as if I could use it. The recipe... Oh yeah, it is there. It doesn't just doesn't show up in here for some reason. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, good. I'm not very happy about this, but let's just burn it off for now. As soon as I can get the stone bricks I need, of course. Disconnected you. There. The high pressure furnace is also very expensive to run. 2 megawatts. Well, that's not great either. But it will keep things moving at least. It is very wasteful. I'm not happy about it at all. I will want to at least use it to mine the aluminum. I will need a lot of aluminum anyway. Okay. It's also going to use a lot of my electricity. 50 per second. So it's going to run the whole time pretty much. That's annoying. Well, much I can do about it then. Okay. Iron is already building up. Not a lot of iron, but that still counts. And I will fuel you with coke. If I can. It's a very small stone patch, so let's not waste any of it. I will not use it quite like this, I think. I expect that most of my stone production is going to be from iron processing anyway. There you go. Everything's running. I'm not getting enough steam. At 20 per second, this can only produce 7.5. I'm not sure if I need to overdo it though. This is going to produce... Well, yeah, there's going to be enough tar. So let's at least try. There. And fuel. Again, this is not very efficient, and it's not going to be able to deal with the ash. It's temporary. That makes it okay. Anyway, that's it for this episode. It did go pretty well. So now I should have science completely automated. Going very slowly, of course. But that will be good. There. So, that's it. Bye.